Hey, Browns fans, happy Sunday. Happy first day of fall to all of you out there watching, which it's not going to feel like fall much today here at Huntington Bank Field. It's going to be about 80 degrees at kickoff. It'll be a hot one, still remnants of summer, but very much looking forward to Browns and Giants here in week 3 of the NFL season. It's sort of it's a big one for the Browns for a couple of reasons, but also a game that they're expected to win. I think that's maybe where the main reason, the big reasons why it's an important one for the Browns starts, because good teams take care of the teams that they're supposed to beat. They're coming into this one favored by 6.5 points. And I also think this stretch of games coming up is a good chance. It's a good opportunity for the Browns to sort of build some momentum, figure out what their identity is, particularly on offense, and start to sort of piece some things together as they move forward into the tougher stretches of the season. We'll talk some more about some of the challenges that the Giants might present here in a second. But, Anthony, some good news for the Browns overnight after some bad news on Saturday. It was looking like Jack Conklin was going to be able to play. He had practiced fully all week. He was questionable, but the tea leaves were sort of suggesting he would be ready. Find out on Saturday he has a hamstring issue. He won't play today. But the good news overnight is that Jedrick Wills is apparently going to play, also listed as questionable. He was limited throughout the week of practice, which made it seem less likely he would play. But he's going to be able to go, it sounds like, from what Ian Rappaport is sharing this morning or early this morning. What does the addition of Jedrick Wills, you think, do for this offensive line and for this offense as a whole?
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see him back out there because we've been so patchworky for a long time, and we're still going to have that element of a patchwork line. But I mean, truth be told, it's going to be Ethan in the middle, right? You're going to have Wyatt and Joel beside them at guards, and then you're going to have DeJuan and Jed. I mean, this is what your starting offensive line was supposed to be, and you're finally getting that. Whether it's week 3 or not, you're getting that in a game where it's really important. You know, you're going to have a guy in Kayvon Thibodeau who is coming to ruin games and ruin the Browns' day, and we've seen that a bunch when we've been favorites, or I mean, it's kind of see it across the league. If there's one place where underdogs can really make a difference, it's when they can get after the quarterback and wreck stuff in the backfield. And we've seen that happen to us a bunch. It'd be really, really good to get Jed back out there, to get him back into the offense, to get this offense feeling a little bit more like it's supposed to. And then also to get him starting to play some good football here at the start of the season.
Along the lines of Jed, just what should fans expect? Because let's be honest, man, like he's been inconsistent throughout his career. That's the biggest gripe against him. We know that about him. There's a questioning of, his passion for football, these different things. But on top of all that, and just what we've seen from Jed to this point in his career, there's also the thought process of, okay, he's also coming off of a knee injury. We saw DeJuan Jones sort of practice through a knee injury to try to be ready for week 1. Jed did the opposite. He had to kind of wait it out, and now he's ready to go. But what should realistically we expect to see from him from a performance standpoint?
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic, right? I
think it's an upgrade from James. No offense to James Hudson. I do think he's an upgrade from James Hudson, and I understand why they're going to play him. But I do think there should be some tempered expectations because fans already kind of go in with some, being judgmental about Jed. And I hope they give him a little bit of grace today, knowing he's coming back from this injury.
He's not going to be Joe Thomas today, and I don't think he has been Joe Thomas throughout his career. But I do think, like you said, it's a little bit of an upgrade. Hopefully it's a big upgrade because like I'm kind of trying to get at, I'm not overly excited, like overly optimistic about the return of him just because he has been inconsistent. And, truth be told, this is a massive year for him. He's at the end of his contract with the Browns. If he shows out, he can get renewed here, or he's going to be looking for a new home, and the Browns are going to be looking for a solution at left tackle. And so it's a massive year for him. You're hoping that the sense of urgency is high. No reason to believe that it is high unless the injury was really, really bad, which I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that, you don't want to speculate what's been going on behind closed doors. But for today's purposes, get out there, play clean, no penalties. He may struggle a little bit, but like I think to your point, don't think that we're getting a Hall of Fame tackle coming out of the gates today.
Yeah, and I mean, at some point he has to play, and the best way to, get himself acclimated is going to be those game reps. So this almost is a good situation for him. It'll be challenging because I think the Giants' defensive line is one of the bigger tests for this team, this Browns team today. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, all very, very good up front. Guys that the Browns have to sort of account for and be aware of. And yeah, like Jed's going to have his hands full in that way, but he's got to it's a good thing to kind of get him back acclimated while also playing a team that I think the Browns are, at least on paper, significantly better than. Vegas says the same thing. Line is 6.5 going into this one. So everyone seems to think that the Browns are the better team of these two. So it's an opportunity where he can kind of, I don't want to say there's low stakes, but he can go out and he can play the best he can, shake off some of that rust, and hopefully start getting back in the swing of things against an opponent that the Browns should be able to beat, whether he's great or not. Along the lines of the defensive line being the strength for this Giants team, Anthony, what are some other areas or things that you look at with this Giants team that maybe come off as a concern in this matchup that if the Browns, aren't quite on their P's and Q's, could come back to bite them today?
Yeah. I think it's Malik Neighbors. I don't think Daniel Jones is a great quarterback. I don't know that they have, everything that it takes on the offensive side of the football to get it done. But I do know when Malik Neighbors touches the football, he can go. And he's a guy that you definitely have to account for. The nice part is the Browns have probably the best secondary in football, in my opinion, to kind of combat that. So I don't know that there's any other big threats on their offensive side of the football, but Malik Neighbors is a guy who can, he has the home run capability. And then on defense, when the Browns offense is on the field, it's everything you said. If it's controlling that defensive line, if the Browns can control the line of scrimmage, they're going to win this game comfortably. If they can't control the line of scrimmage, we're going to be in a dogfight that you just don't want to be in. You don't need to be in today.
Yeah, I like that answer. And I do think, Daniel Jones, I think the biggest threat he poses is as a runner. I'm not necessarily as worried about him as a passer. Granted, he knows he has Malik Neighbors out there. He tends to target him. He's the second most targeted wide receiver in football this year. So there's going to be some connections there. But if you can limit that and you can prevent Daniel Jones from running on you, I don't think he's some massive, massive threat. And I'm with you on that regard. On the flip side, something that I think the Browns need to take advantage of, this run defense for the Giants is bad. And we saw them sort of get the run game more involved last week and how effective that was in staying ahead of the sticks and allowing Deshaun to get comfortable because they could then do things off of those run sets. And if they can do that again today, I think it's a recipe for success and a recipe to win this game. I'll also say this. We know Amari Cooper has gotten off to a slow start. I am anticipating a big day from him today after he made the comments he did publicly to us in the media where he admitted, maybe I wasn't attacking practice the right way and I've gone about things a little bit differently this week. I'm going to be honest, man. I do think some of the offseason stuff weighed on him and it impacted him here to start the season. Almost like a half in, half out type thing because mentally maybe he's questioning how much the Browns really value him. But he's not the kind of guy that I think, lollygags and lives in that world or that sphere, or that headspace for a long period of time. I think he's going to bounce back, and I think that starts today. I think Deshaun's going to make a point and trying to force feed him the ball to kind of get him off the schneid here early on.
I hope so. And I think both of those things are connected. If the Browns are running the football well, you get Deontay Foreman going, you get Deontay Foreman going and Jerome Ford going, that will open up some opportunities, like you said, where you are ahead of the sticks and you can take big shots and you can try to take the top off the field with Amari Cooper, with Jerry Jeudy too. I think that this day today is a really, really good opportunity for, like you said, Amari to get back, but for this offense to start rounding into form. I think last week in Jacksonville was absolutely a step in the right direction for a 1 half. And then they see a full game, 60 minutes, start to finish, clean football, and starting to look the way that we've been wanting it to look. And we haven't got there yet. We've touched it. We've scratched the surface, but today's a really good chance to put it all together and put a really nice showing out.
All right, Anthony, we both feel pretty good about the Browns' chances today. We made a couple mentions of things that they have to do well, we think, to try to get a win today. How do you think ultimately this game shakes out? What is your prediction for the score today?
Yeah, I got Browns winning 24-14, and I think it's going to be a really workman-like day. And the way I would be if I were to be excited after this game, it is that it's a controlled game. We own time of possession. We're running the football. We get Amari in the end zone. We get Amari involved. Get Jerry Jeudy involved a little bit, and you build up a nice lead. Maybe you're up 21-7. Maybe you're up 24-7. And then the Giants punch one in late in crunch time or late in garbage time. So I think today's going to be a very workmanlike effort from the Browns, and you just get a really solid game across the board where the defense shuts it down, the offense Browns escape with a stress-free victory today.
I'm the more optimistic one this week. I'm going 24-10. I think the Browns defense should really contain and control this Giants offense. I think maybe the Giants score like a late touchdown that doesn't really – it's pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and that's how they get their 10. I think the Browns offense I don't know that they're going to be world beaters today and like blow out the Giants. 24-10 is kind of a blowout, but I don't think they're going to score 30 points necessarily. But I do think they'll have some more complete drives. They'll look good doing it, maybe more methodical with the way that they run the football today effectively. I'll add this caveat. I think the Browns are good for 200-plus yards rushing today, all combined. Jerome Ford, Deontay Foreman, and probably Deshaun Watson a little bit as well. I think all those three guys combined for over 200 yards rushing against a bad Giants run defense. So that's my prediction for you.
That's your prop of the day. I think we're getting close to anybody watching, anybody who follows along with us.
And Amari Cooper anytime touchdown, and that's my my prop of the day. Yeah, 200 plus yards.
I also a good one to sprinkle on, and we're not betting experts, but a good one to sprinkle on is Jerry Jeudy over 3.5 catches.
I like that. We just made ourselves a little parlay. Now, don't take my advice because I'm terrible when it comes to betting. But,
right. Jerry, 16th most targeted receiver versus pressure. Giants, 7th most pressure. They generate the 7th most pressures in the league. So big day for Jerry Jeudy in terms of targets today. So
all right, guys. Yeah, I appreciate you, Anthony. Good stuff. We appreciate you guys jumping on in with us. We will be back with you post-game to break down everything that happened in this game from an overall recap standpoint, but also just some individual observations, things that kind of play out and happen. And we're excited. We hope you'll continue following along at Cleveland Browns on SI's YouTube channel. And, of course, at Cleveland Browns on SI, we'll have an actives coming out for you here in about 30 minutes or so, plus much, much more content throughout the game, after the game, what's said in the locker room, all sorts of stuff. We hope you'll join us and follow along for all the great coverage of your Cleveland Browns.